What's good, everybody? It's your boy Breezy. On this episode, we're going to recap the 49ers and Minnesota Vikings practice. The first day, how well did the 49ers do? How well did the Vikings do? We're going to recap all of that. Got a special guest with my brother, John Chapman. You know the co-host is in the building, Mose knows. We're going to do all that and more 49ers talk right here. Stick around. We'll see you.
Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Breezy this, breezy that. Ain't nobody working like Breezy, and that's a fact. Yeah, breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded. I got the Niners on my back, you know. Yeah, breezy this, breezy that. Ain't nobody working like Breezy, and that's a fact. Overmotivated is an understatement. Gold-blooded to the core, got your squad hating. Breezy make it look easy. Breezy on everything like 05, 067 Wheezy. This is not a game. Yeah, we faithful in every way. And even though we on the East Coast, very loyal to the Bay. Heavy red and gold every day. And if you really a Niner fan, I know you can relate. Applying pressure with this content like Smaller Bear. We not accepting no slander about Trey, so beware. I stay in exclusively Niner hats, and I always tell the truth, this exclusively Niner facts. Breezy this, breezy that. They know I'm gold-blooded, I got the Niners on my back, you know. Yeah, breezy this.
The crew is in the building. The 49ers All-Star crew is here, man. What's going on? John Chapman's in the building. Mose Knows is in the building. Everybody out there is tuned in, and they're in the building. And they're like, Breezy this, why you on at 30 minutes early? That's what they probably asking. Because I got an explanation. Right? I woke up and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to create the show. So I think I was still asleep and I forgot to put 11:30 and I put 11 a.m. Hey, it is what it is. But we here, right? We here.
We made it.
I love it, man. I thought it was 11:32. So whenever I saw your text this morning, I was like, all right, Breezy feeling it. Let's roll, baby.
So here's the funny thing. I thought it was 11:32 until 49ers_throwback tweeted it out, and that shit said 8 a.m. And I was like, oh, let's get ready.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the energy, man. I'm very happy to be with you guys. Mose, I'm a big fan, man. So just glad to be on here live with you guys. And Wayne, we always hanging out. But this is going to be fun, man. I'm pumped.
This is going to be real fun, Mose. It's good to see you, bro. Listen, man, guys, y'all know the formalities. I don't even want to waste time. Just follow us everywhere. There's our handles right there. Our names are right there. Boom. You know where to follow us. Make sure you do one thing, though. You hit the like button, all right? And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and make sure that your alerts are set to ALL, all right? Because you don't want to miss certain shows. Every time we go live, show pops up on this channel, you want to make sure you get it. So make sure it's set to ALL. I was about to say AWOL, like AWOL, like some crazy stuff, but I ain't even in the military. So anyway, let's go ahead and get cracking, man. Listen, the 49ers, guys, they practiced yesterday. And I want to go around the table real quick, and we'll start with John and then Mose. Did you hear more good news or more bad news about the first practice?
I felt like it was way more positive news, especially whenever you're watching the clips and kind of the, the hard whatever. Now, some people definitely selling negatives, but no, The 49ers roster is far better than the Vikings roster, with the exception of a few positions, which we'll dive into later. But you saw positive things from Kinlaw, which I put above everything else. We need to see that power, the importance that he brings coming back. You saw very positive things from Trey Lance. Good gosh, they put together a whole highlight tape on your boy Trey. So much more positive. That's just me. Mose, are positive, negative? What about you, man?
Yeah, what I saw and what I heard was a lot of positive. Of course, you're gonna a lot of people are gonna try to be unbiased and give you the full gamut. So there were some things that need to be correcting, but again, as we've always been talking about through this entire period of training camp, preseason games, all of these practices, this is the time right now to make mistakes, to figure out what areas you need to improve in. But I agree with your assessment that the pendulum has swung more towards the positive side than the negative side.
All right, we got our brother DeMarcus Dixon in here saying we got the big three, Breezy, Mose, and John fist up. Speaking of big three, we might have to do our own version of the big three. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and put that into the works. Let's talk about these positives and negatives after day one. I definitely heard a lot more positivity, even after listening to like some of the players at the pressures, like George Kittle. There were some some missed passes and things like that, or whatever, where I missed throws or whatever. You saw that Trey Lance had some throws that were kind of like behind receivers and things like that. But there was also that positive side, which was kind of like what we needed to see from every player at their positions. When I think about some of the negatives that I saw, it was just really coming from a lot of the reserves, like a lot of the backups, right? You had Ken Crawley. Poor Ken Crawley was defending the Double J, and
not Jettis.
I mean, listen, what did you expect?
I mean, Justin Jefferson has had one of the best 2 to 3 year spans coming into the league that we've seen from any wide receiver, right? So he's on that trajectory of being, as long as he can stay healthy, of possibly being, one of the greats that this game has ever seen. So, we don't have our starting guys. Ken Crawley, who we just recently, but he's only been on the team for what, 2 weeks, maybe 3?
Just
a couple weeks, right? And then you say, all right, your first challenge in this joint practice is go guard Justin Jefferson. Like, I don't know what you expected that man to do.
I bet I could see Jefferson just smiling whenever he walked up to the line of scrimmage, like, I don't even know who you are. He like told his Thanos, like, I don't even know who you are, man. And just torched him. But listen, it's a lesson. It's a lesson.
It was definitely, he was baptized by Justin Jefferson. Justin put on a move, and it was just like, whoops. Now, I got to bring this up, and shout out to some good news. Emmanuel Mosley's today, he's out there. He's got his pads. Not sure if he was in pads yesterday. I knew he was in uniform. Not sure if he was in pads, though, because he was doing individual drills. But he's out there with the pads. I'm looking at the video. Shout out to Jennifer Lee Chan right now. He is out there. Look like he's ready to go. But, guys, this is what I took from that. I know Ken Crawley's out there, he trying to make the roster. Shout out to him for making the first cuts, right? He didn't get cut. All right. After he got picked up, after they released Leon O'Neal Jr. But did you see Leon O'Neal Jr.'s tweet?
No.
Ooh.
What he got a most recent one?
Ooh.
He's fired no matter what. So whether it's positive,
smoking the city.
Wait a minute.
Holding back.
Wait a minute. Let me get it. He might have deleted it. Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm sure he deleted it. And I know I should have snapshotted it.
Oh, don't delete it.
I guarantee you it's not here. Come on, Leon.
I can tell you this. He does not have a social media filter team.
No.
Like he does not.
Yo, this is why
paraphrase.
Paraphrase. Right. So basically, damn, I needed it verbatim because I wanted to ask you, was he throwing shade? Hold on. It's got to be in my phone.
I'm gonna boo you, Wayne. You got me excited, man.
What happened was, what had happened was, I'd be doing this and I'd be doing that.
Breezy this, breezy
that. And I just
fix it.
I gotta fix it. He's right. I gotta fix it. Damn it. All right, here we go. I think he deleted it. Okay, no, it was simple. You ready? It was an emoji. Why am I looking at this? Here we go. Boom. All right, I'm gonna read it to you because it might be a little bit blurry because this camera is meant to focus on my face, right? And that's the play. And you know who's in that play? Number 14. You know who wears number 14? Ken Crawley.
Yeah.
Is this shade?
I don't think so. They literally, like, the transaction was made. They took the jersey from him to hand it to him. Like, and I don't think that's Ken Crawley. It's an equipment guy. It's John Lynch and Adam Peters saying, look, we got to get somebody in there, get them reps, do whatever you got to do. We want them at practice today. And you got an equipment guy that looks like me out there just going, bloop, bloop, here you go, get your ass out there. And that's just what it was.
Okay, but is he throwing shade, Mose? John is saying no because this is an equipment thing, but you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I don't think he's throwing shade at the equipment staff or at Ken Crawley. I think he's throwing shade at the organization.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you?
That's my point.
Get rid of me for this guy.
That's shade.
Only to see him get cooked.
But he wasn't even
on a simple slant route,
bro.
Now, I kind of do agree with John. One, they play two different positions. Leon O'Neal's a safety.
Yeah.
And if you put Leon O'Neal, as a safety with his lack of speed in a one-on-one matchup with Justin Jefferson probably walk off the field because he's like, this is not helping me in practice. Like, I'm not getting better going up against this guy. So, I mean, it would be a worse situation.
I feel like
I do understand. I do understand as a player and as an individual, Leon O'Neal's stance. Like, I think he's saying I would have at least given a better effort than what we saw Ken Crawley just do on this play.
But see, I don't see, and again, this is my take. I never saw Ken Crawley as a replacement for Leon O'Neal.
Correct. They played two different positions.
I saw Taylor Hawkins outplay Leon O'Neal. Then the injury happened, and they were like, you know what? We're good. We have our, practice squad type developmental safety that we like. Let's go get another position who happens to be in the secondary because we had the back-to-back injuries to our starters and we need more reps at the corner position. So I get it. It's the whole like Tom Brady, like nobody believed we could do this, even though he's won 7 Super Bowls every damn year. Like people have to manifest like a chip on their shoulders. And I actually love that about a lot of players, but I think it's misguided. I think it's probably going to hurt his efforts long-term. Probably not the smartest thing to do. I love the fire that he brought, though. All training camp on social media, it just never transferred. But, hey, he's from Texas A&M. They're all about that, man. Hook 'em, baby. Hook 'em, baby.
SEC's in the building. Here's my take, right? I don't think he was throwing shade. I just think he was saying that Justin Jefferson, he was throwing props. He was saying Justin Jefferson, that was disrespectful.
Oh, like, there you go.
Yeah,
look at you.
I think that's where he was going with it. If you ever talk to Leon O'Neal, he's a real cool dude, but he has zero filter. Like he doesn't know how to he doesn't write it. He doesn't think before he acts. He writes and posts. You know what I'm saying? And then you come back and he'd be like, oh shoot, all right, I see what you're saying. He's that type of guy. But I don't think he was throwing shade. I think it was more like, damn, Justin Jefferson, that's disrespect. Don't do that to my boy. That's the way I'm looking at it. Even though he don't know Ken Crawley from a can of paint, because Ken Crawley came in there like the moment he was cut. Like he was in there before he even got cut. Ken Crawley was in the building. So I don't know. PG telling me to cut the shit. It's possible. Hey, it is what it is. I just think he was bigging up Justin Jefferson because everybody was. Justin, you know what? Let's talk about this. Because not only did Justin Jefferson super cook Ken Crawley, he quadruple cooked, Diamador Lenore. Like, put him on skates. What are we talking about here? And I know Justin Jefferson is the guy. Hence, there's a poll question right now. Which wide receiver from that draft class is going to have the best season in 2022? And you best believe Justin Jefferson is on there. He's probably the number 1 wide receiver from that draft class. 22. And then you best believe Justin Jefferson is on there. I forgot my volume was on. I was like, what the heck? That sound like Breezy. Who is that?
Yeah.
So you got Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Pittman Jr. And I know this is a 49er base show, and I know everybody's gonna pick Brandon Ayuk, but I want y'all to cut the goddamn crap and think before you pick in your poll. All right, cut it. All right, so yeah, he cooked Diamador Lenore. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, that was really bad.
Which one was worse, King Crawley or the Diamador Lenore?
Demo, hands down.
Yeah.
Demo
That was worse too, guys.
And I think that was in
Demo touched
11-11.
earth.
Yeah.
He fell to the ground.
He touched earth. That's really bad.
I like that when from now on, most when cats fall, I'm just gonna say they touched earth. They touched
I'll say
earth.
this though, like I think this is good for the 49ers secondary because we don't have a Justin Jefferson. Like
Good
I
point.
love Brandon Ayuk. They
doesn't
win
run
in
those
different
routes.
ways.
Mhm.
You look at a lot of Brandon Ayuk's plays, he's still covered. He's a contested catch hybrid guy. Justin Jefferson, the best loyal to the soil.
Loyal to
I
the
love
soil.
that
That's dope.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, like this is good because they haven't seen this. And so there's not a lot of Justin Jeffersons, and we're not playing them this year, so I don't really care. But he might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. Like that's not a slight to anybody else that's up there, Cooper Kupp, whatever. He's that damn good. So you put our number 3, number 4, number 5 corner on him. That's like somebody trying to block Nick Bosa, and it's not going to happen consistently.
John, you're so spot on because we're gonna switch the segue to Nick Bosa in a little bit, but that was really cool because I like how you did that. But guys, listen, I'm not worried about this. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, Miss Debbie. I see you out there. I don't want anybody to worry. I want everybody to understand that that's the number 1 wide receiver, like John said, going against a number 3 or a cornerback that might not even make this roster. All right. And then when you're talking about Diamador Lenore, this is good work for him, right? He needs to go up against these guys. They're going to be starting too on Saturday. I don't know if who's going to be the starting cornerbacks because Ambry Thomas got switched to team 2. He's on the second team now. And I think Kader Hallman and is it Diam? I think those are going to be your starting cornerbacks in this game.
I would say if I was doing it, I would put Demo and Kader Holman out there to start this game. And this is, hey, you're making the roster or you're not, Kader Holman. This is this is it. He got cooked. Now, I will say this about Kader Holman. He had some positive plays. He did have some good plays. Now, he got cooked like 3 or 4 times, gave up 2 touchdowns. Yeah, it was bad, but he did have positives. So I think this is a make it or break it game for Kader because they love him as a special teams player. But if you can't carry depth at the corner position, that roster spot's too valuable. So that's who I would roll with. Ambry, we know is making it just because of the long-term upside. And so that's who I would roll with my outside corners.
All right. What are your thoughts on that, Mose, as far as who's going to start in this particular game?
I would agree with that. I think the way Kader plays the cornerback position, I think he's kind of like Ambry, where if he's playing off, he's not really that comfortable. Mm-hmm. He's more of a press man corner, and I think that's why we have him in the building anyway. And also, I think what'll help Kader Holman is I think he needs to have a good game because I want to see him on this roster because in the event he does need to play in the regular season, his job is going to be much easier when Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead and Fred Warner and Azeez Al-Shaair and Dre Greenlaw and all of our starters, particularly in that front 7, are on the field. His job is going to be much easier as a press corner. So I do want to see him take that leap against second and third string guys and really claim a spot on this roster because I think he can help us, going on this long journey of a season once we have our starters in as a solid press man corner on the outside.
Very well spoken. And here's the thing, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Kader Holman is cut next week. I wouldn't be surprised if his role was the same role as Darqueze Dennard. All right. Hey, man, you the guy. I want you to come in here. I want you to lead these young guys. I want you to work with Samuel Womack. I want you to get them ready. And then I'm going to release you so you can go find another job. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Holman is in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? Because you need you got E-Man, you got Travarius Ward. Of course, those are going to be your guys. Guys are going to look up to those guys and things like that, no doubt. But it's always that veteran that that guys kind of cling to. And maybe this is where Ambry Thomas, Diamador Lenore, and some of these younger guys, Sri Castro Fields, those guys, maybe, they needed this particular Holman to see how he balls out, to see what he went through in the NFL as a lower draft pick and things like that. Even if I don't even know if he was drafted at this point, but just to see how he kind of went through the fire and how he's here out working, trying to get himself, put himself on the map to get a job. But Kyle Shanahan does certain things with veterans, right? If there's guys that he truly likes and he knows he's not going to keep, he'll let them go so they can have a chance and an opportunity to get out there and work to get on another team. And if you don't believe me, I couldn't figure out why Kyle Shanahan let go of Darqueze Dennard, but he spoke about it, right? Like I don't think he's ever said why he cut somebody. Let's check out Kyle Shanahan and to tell you why he let go of Darqueze Dennard.
We didn't think he was going to earn that spot. And so, whether he's out there with the ones or not, that's no one really is slotted that way except for the depth charts we got to give you guys for preseason. So we wanted to give him opportunities being the vet and with younger guys coming in, but we got to see enough that where we felt the younger guys were going to have a chance. So we want to give them some reps. And Dennard's been awesome for us. What he helped last year stepping in that game, he was a good player for us this offseason, and we'll see how these guys do. And if it doesn't work out, hopefully someday he can come back.
So he likes Dennard. He was grateful for Dennard. Right. That's what I got from this. But he didn't feel like he was going to beat out what he saw from Samuel Womack. So Kyle made an executive decision. You guys cool with that? Like, Kyle is making these tough decisions. And I think that's what I like to see from Kyle Shanahan. And he's putting, I don't want to say his faith into the young guys, but he's putting his faith into the young guys. I don't know how else to say it. What are your thoughts about that, guys? Let's start with Mose and then John.
I think this is something that we rarely see from Kyle, right? In the previous years, he was kind of skeptical to kind of, trust the young guys, trust the rookies, and give them, that leeway to be themselves and to find avenues to get themselves on the field more. Now I think he's really now opening himself up to trying to find the best 53, no matter what your experience is, no matter what your age is. If you are the best guy to fit this 53-man roster, you're going to make it. And I think that puts a lot of onus on the players. It's not like, well, if I'm a veteran, if I have tenure in the league, I know that I'm going to make it because Kyle doesn't trust the young guy. So maybe I don't have to put in as much work to outshine this young guy because it doesn't matter what this young guy does. No, now it puts onus on all the players, both the veterans and the young guys. You got to show up. You got to step up and you got to put everything on this field because we need to be the best possible team that we can to win this thing because we've been close twice. We can win this with who we have in the building. Now I need you guys to show me. I'm going to put you in the right position. Show me you deserve to be here and show me that you're going to go out and give 150% every week. You'll make this team, will win games, and ultimately win a Super Bowl. So I love that mindset from Kyle because it does put the onus on the players, and everybody has to step up and show improve, and that's going to make the team better, in my opinion.
I love it, man. Mose, I think you said it well. 49ers run a meritocracy. You earn it. And here's what's crazy to me. I don't think it was Samuel Womack that led to the cut. I think it was Quintrez Knight, the backup nickel, who dominated the second half. Now, do I think he's a starter? No, but I think it showed, man, we got these two young, promising players that I really like, and the upside's way higher. And on top of that, we play this game with the 53-man roster where it's like, who can we sneak in? Well, guess what? He didn't get claimed. Darqueze Dennard did not get claimed when teams having 85 men on their roster. What are the chances of him getting claimed with 53? Not happening. So this might have been a sneaky move where guess what? You can still have Darqueze Dennard anytime you want, but you still have your two promising rookies getting snaps.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the vets on the PS. I would not 100%. Be surprised. And that's how this NFL shaping up. Kyle Shanahan is like the king of understanding the lingo of these rules from the CBA, right? Like he's in the NFL, like he's clearly understanding it now. All right, fine. I'm gonna find a way to manipulate it. I'm gonna milk this until I can. I'm gonna stash this guy here and this guy here. We could save some money right there. We could do this. We could do. Kyle is he's the manipulator. He's doing everything.
He's gotten by the book. But once.
But
you're right.
Talk about that once.
DJ Reed.
DJ freaking Reed.
But
He
other
got
than that, how
claimed.
many sneaky moves has he made? You
Right.
slid 8 past that you got to keep. You lost 1. I mean, it's the way it goes.
I didn't think DJ Reed would get claimed, but Seattle is going to be Seattle. And I think that for Kyle Shanahan, that's the main reason why Jimmy Garoppolo isn't cut yet. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows, even though Seattle's not necessarily competing, they're still competing, right? They're still out there trying to find a way, to compete in the NFC West. And if I'm Seattle, I mean, I wouldn't want to compete. I would try to get that first round draft pick, you know what I'm saying? And try to get, that quarterback, Bryce Young or whoever it is they like. That would be my thing. But who knows what's going to go on with Seattle. Very well spoken, guys. You guys are like super on the money. I do want to talk about the practice and the way practice, kind of it got chippy a little bit, but there were no fights. There were 0 fights. Now I know y'all saw the brawl, New England and Carolina. Like that was about to be a bloodbath fight. Like that got bad. You didn't see it, Mose?
No.
Oh,
I saw it. Christian McCaffrey. This is where it started.
Yeah, and it happened
What?
once. Yeah, bro.
Wait, was CMC swinging or was like were
So
teammates coming to defend
he got
CMC?
taken down hard by a
Okay.
Patriots D lineman,
Okay.
and everybody
Guys are
kind of
soft.
rallied, and then it just went off, man. And that was number 2. That
was
wasn't
number
the
2.
first fight.
Yeah,
That was the
that's what I
second
said.
fight.
It happened twice.
Okay.
And when I say
I gotta
brawl,
look that up.
you know how Mose, you ever see a baseball fight?
Yeah.
That was that. It was the whole teams.
And it was right up against
jumping,
the
piling on each other.
bro,
Like,
it was
it was
right next to the
mosh pit,
stands, like
right?
on the side too. Like
And
it
if I was a fan, I'd have been like, I'd have been all in
wait,
it.
were there fans in the stadium or no
Yes.
fans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is
Oh, so the
practice.
fans got to see all of that.
Bro, they got to.
All
They
right,
went viral. Fans are viral right now. We
I gotta look that up. That's
hey,
crazy.
Kyle Shanahan, we want to go viral. So can you allow something? But according to Kyle Shanahan, guys, there will be no fighting.
No.
And if you fight, your ass is gone. And he even spoke about it. 15-second blurb. Check
Pretty
it out.
big emphasis. I mean, just have a deal with Kevin. I mean, anyone throws a punch, we're going to kick him out. So a practice, and we know how important to get this practice work is right now, and that's what we stress, guys. We need to practice, and if you fight, you're going to be out of there. So do everything you can to not.
There's no fighting. And we've seen fighting before in 49ers camp. We've seen a guy, I'm not going to mention his name, beat up a wide receiver. Like literally took him to the ground and 2-pieced him,
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen. And why do you think that Kyle Shanahan feels this way? Like, and why do you think the players are all in on it? Like, they don't want to fight. Like, I mean, and I know it's getting chippy, but nobody wants to get kicked out. And do you guys think this is a reason why Robert Nkemdiche was let go?
Protecting the team is a must. And if you look throughout, we did that 90-man roster series, and almost, I'd say like 82 out of 90 players were on a roll, some type of dean's list, whatever else. Like they want guys with quote unquote good heads on their shoulders that are going to protect the team and act right. Reuben Foster is still in the back of the mind of the entire 49ers front office. And Nkemdiche, who once was the number 1 player in high school, did not live up to that at all in his time with the 49ers, taking players to the ground. Even whenever he made plays, gets up and starts shooting the gun. Like it did fit. It just did not fit with the persona that they've tried to build. And again, he was a good player. He played well, but again, did anybody else claim him?
Nope. The guy that might be on the radar most.
I love what Chapman said. It's about protecting the team, but I think also, fights in training camp or fights in practice, especially in joint practices like this, can lead to the game as well. So when you talk about protecting the team, when you talk about protecting your own team, going against your own team in practice, you want to do that. But you don't want to start something in practice that spills over into a game where people really have to hit you and really have the autonomy to tackle you and take you to the ground and do all types of dirty things that can lead to further injury, right? So we don't want to start something in practice that, especially a young guy who's trying to make the roster or who's trying to, establish his persona on the team as a tough guy, hard nose, does something to one of our players as get back for what happened in practice. So completely agree with got to protect the team. So, if you fight in practice, you're out of here. And that means you won't see time in the game because we can't have anything, lingering over into the game that can, cause further injury to one of our players.
Yeah,
All right.
and you don't want choir boys, but like I want to draw attention to the Saints.
Right.
Trevor Penning, their first round pick. I think he's been kicked out of 8 practices so far in
Yup.
training camp.
Jesus
And
Christ.
like he wanted to paint his mold as, oh, I'm this fighter, don't mess with me, whatever. But even at Senior Bowl, everybody was like, look, dude, we get it, you're tough. But like at some point, these are your teammates. You got to chill out a little bit. And he just can't back it down. And that's going to show up game day. So you don't want, all whatever choir boys. I want to say that, but like you got to think about the team first, the locker room first. And whenever you start throwing punches and stuff, you're not thinking about yourself first. You're not thinking about the team first, because if you punch somebody with the helmet on, you're a freaking moron. You're an idiot. I've never understood that. In all my years coaching, I love people that get fired up, and I love chipping. I love grabbing. I love all the things between the whistles. You freaking take care of them, baby. But swinging at helmets, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders, 1995 style, I don't freaking understand what that accomplishes. It just hurts your hands, man.
And that was going to be my take. Nice little setup. I love both of your takes on it. But my thing is this: if I'm Kyle Shanahan and I'm the head coach, I'm going to ask you one question. Why the hell would you swing at a person that has a helmet on and pads? You're going to break something. You're going to cut something. You're going to hurt something. And then I can't use you. If I can't use you, you can't be on the team. So I love where Kyle is coming from. I love both of y'all takes. I think you're protecting the team. You're protecting the brand. How about you protect your damn self? How about you go out there and you just don't fight? And then, you want to fight after practice? Be my guest. I ain't there. I can't help it. Hey, man, what you do outside? I used to tell my kids, listen, don't fight at school. But if you see somebody, what I'm saying, it's not a school grounds, what happens, happens. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever y'all do after 3:00, not on these grounds. Hey,
that's right.
I
Adolescent
don't know
John
about it.
Chapman has showed up to the chat, my friends. That's what I'm talking about. We take care of things, baby. We take care of things. That's all I gotta say. That's all
Listen,
I gotta say.
we got to get to a couple of contributions. We do have an update of what's going on as of right now, because practice has started and we are live while practice is going on. So we'll get to some of those updates. But I got to shout out to my brother Lake City Fresh with the air horns, because he's now a member of the channel. Shout out to Lake City, man. We appreciate you. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the contributions. And if you don't know, John, Lake City is the one who wrote the theme song, Breezy This, Breezy That,
That's
and
incredible,
recorded
man.
it. And that's the guys on it. So if you ever need, a little spicing up, you want a little theme music, every superhero, John, got to have their theme music. So, bro,
Every
if you need the
superhero
theme music,
gotta have a theme music.
gotta have a theme music, man. So if you need something, man, hit up Lake City,
That
man.
was incredible. He crushed it, man. He crushed it.
100%. We got contributions. We do foghorns for those that love to do the super chat contributions. They get the touchdown sound. Shout out to Johnny Robinson. Love the Muhammad Ali thumbnail. Is our O-line an issue? If so, who's available now? Let's let John attack this most, because we talk about this a lot. Let's see what John's thoughts is on this.
Right tackle's an issue. Okay, right tackle is a major issue. I don't think the old line's an issue. I feel very, very strong about the left 4, if you want to go that way, especially when it comes to the run game, which is what predicates everything in the Shanahan system. And they got depth whenever it comes to run blocking. That right tackle position, this game, you're not going to see a lot of starters play. This week, you're going to see Colton McKivitz start at right tackle. You're going to see I keep doing that. Jaylon Moore at right tackle. You're going to see Justin School at right tackle. You're going to see the new free agent they brought in, Mills, at right tackle. That's the concern. Is there anybody Mills, to bring in? I think Mills was the guy that they brought in. The answer's in the building if McGlinchey can't go, but that's my biggest issue when it comes to Trey Lance's development. Literally everything. I feel fine with the left 4. Right tackle, yeah, it's an issue.
Crazy that you said that, Mose.
I'm still not sold on Jake Brindle or Brindell, however you pronounce it. I'm still not sold on him at center. And I mean, he's had good days and bad days, like a lot of players. He's had up and downs, but I'm concerned about that center quarterback exchange, and I'm concerned about him anchoring, particularly in pass pro. A lot of people throw the name JC Treader out there. He's still available. He's still a free agent. why not go and get him? I think if we haven't gotten him at this point, I think it's too late to get him and bring him in and get him acclimated to our offense and what Kyle requires from his center. So at this point, all we can hope for is continued improvement from that center position. I think obviously Trent Williams is Trent Williams. We know that. I love Spencer Burford. Aaron Banks has been doing steady. And if Aaron Banks isn't the guy, then Jason Poe looks really, really good at that guard position as well. So I don't think we want to have too many young guys, too many rookies on that offensive line. But right tackle, I agree we need to see, but I'm also still a little skeptical about center.
I agree with both of you. And I'm going to start with John just to piggyback off of John. I thought, I'm praying, hoping Mike McGlinchey is like at least at 95% week one. And if he is, then I'm way less worried. But if he's not, that's going to be a problem because all defenses are going to do is going to load up their guys on the right side. They'll put their best two players on the right side. They'll work on our rookie Spencer Burford and they'll work on that right tackle. And Colton McKivitz hasn't looked too well at right tackle. He looks better at left tackle, but he did play some right tackle in college. And he says he just got to go. He has to get back out there and just, not relearn it, but just get back into the rhythm of putting your other hand in the dirt. Right. Yeah. And your footwork being a little bit different. Right. And so hopefully that's what these practices are about. And I'm hoping that the Mike McGlinchey injury isn't as severe. I mean, I know he's having some flare ups or things or whatnot, but this is going to happen throughout the season. And he's coming off of that surgery, that tough injury. Right. And so I agree with John. I also agree with you, Mose, because it's like, damn, we haven't really seen this kid play. And so he's going to be going up against some of the biggest and baddest defensive, interior guys, that he's ever seen in his entire career. Will he be able to anchor and hold it down? I don't think he has too many problems with the exchange, but I am concerned about the anchoring and being able to, is he sliding these protections? Is he doing these things right? Is he out there protecting his quarterback? I'm going to go out on a little bit of faith and say I think he's going to be fine. You just got to let him get into this, get that those first game jitters out. I think the issue, though, Mose, when it comes to the center position, was Daniel Brunskill. And I'm not saying he was the issue as far as being the worst or the better of the two. I just think rotating them suckers in was terrible, right? Kyle's playing musical chairs trying to figure out who's going to be the guy. I'm not saying luckily Brunskill is hurt, but luckily Brunskill can't take those reps at this moment. So now Jake can try to find himself and get into some type of rhythm with his quarterback. And I think this is best for Jake. And so for Brunskill, we already know what he's going to be. He's probably going to be the utility guy on the offensive line. We know that. That's why he's taking the reps at center. He can play guard. He can play tackle on both sides. He's that guy. He's the utility guy. I think he's going to be fine once the season starts. So Brunskill is here, but it is what it is. I think the offensive line is going to be just fine. I'm not as worried as everybody is. I'm still going to stay stuck on that facet. I'm just not worried because we have a quarterback named Trey Lance. He's a guy that can take a hit. He's a guy that can take a sack. You don't want him to, but he's also a guy that can stand up play. He's also a guy that can get out of sacks. He's also elusive, and he's also always looking to do what? Throw the goddamn ball. I'm going to show you a clip where he just threw the ball like a weird sidearm. It was a dart to Deebo Samuel. I was just like, who, where, why, how, what, when, how? And so Trey is going to, honestly, and it's weird to say this, make the makeshift offensive line look a tad bit better because he's going to be able to get this ball out. He's going to be able to extend. He's going to be able to do some things that Jimmy Garoppolo was unable to do, even with a better offensive line intact. So I'm not worried about the O-line. And shout out to Spencer Burford and Aaron Banks. Those guys are actually holding it down. And I got to touch on Jason Poe and Jordan Mills, because I like both of those guys. I don't know how they can both make this roster for the 53, but I do think they somehow clear waivers, John and Mose, and make, the practice squad. And the reason why I like Poe is because you want him in on run blocking. And I know you don't want to switch your pieces up. He just has to improve on his pass protection. But then Jordan Mills is probably he's probably the second best pass protector we got on this offensive line next to Trent Williams. But his run blocking is not good. So it's
Right.
But
weird.
so how many linemen do you think we keep?
I'm stuck at 8. John got 9, 8.
I
Yeah.
got 8, 4 and 4. Yeah,
So
they're going to keep
so
8.
if we
I'm stuck
have
at 8.
I think.
Trent Williams, Aaron Bakes, Jake Brindle, Spencer Burford, Mike McGlinchey, that's 5.
That's your starting. Now pick.
That's your 5.
Did you say
So-
Brunskill
so-
yet?
No,
Yeah.
So that's
now
your
Brunt
swing.
skills, he's staying. That's 6.
That's your
6.
swing.
Then you've got an inside guy and an outside guy. Now, and I think
So
this
why
is
can't
something
it be Poe and Mills?
I don't think Poe gets in over Nick Sakill, who started taking center snaps yesterday.
With the third string, though.
Yeah, but again, and this is how they handle their issues. If you look at right tackle, they got like 6 guys fighting for it. You look at center, they got like 5 guys fighting for it, right? And so, I don't know, man. I think Nick Sakill I think he's going to get in over Jason Poe because
Okay.
Jason Poe's again, back to Shanahan's, theatrics or whatever, sneaky moves. Nobody wants an undersized guard unless you run a zone scheme. Boom, you just slashed half the teams in half. Nick Sakill was a 5th round pick, whereas Poe was undrafted free agent. Plus the bad pass protection. Most teams don't want somebody that's a bad pass protector currently. I don't know. That'd be my assumption is that Sakill would get in over Poe, but that's just where I'm at now.
So then that's your extra interior. Then who's your extra outside guy?
Outside guy.
Is that Mills or is that McKivitz?
McKivitz or Mills. McKivitz, you got to win it. You got to win it. We don't know yet.
That's the battle. That's the battle. That's the battle.
Jalen Moore would be the dark horse 3 for me. School's gone. I'm almost surprised. I thought they were going to cut him.
School is gone, but I think you can PS more. He needs more time to develop and probably heal.
He has no good tape that he's put out for the NFL ever. So
Yes.
that's another guy that you could keep. Not that I'm slighting him. He's never performed well in a game.
Which means nobody's watching him.
McKivitz has, Mills has.
Mills has experience.
Then the rookies,
Yeah. So this is one of the ways Kyle Shanahan likes to manipulate stuff, right? Like this is him at his, his work. This is what he does. And so I'm assuming if I had to pick between Mills and McKivitz, well, McKivitz is getting the start, but Mills is going to play probably the blunt of this game. And if Mills has a better game, McKivitz might be on the bubble.
Mills is going to have a better game. I'm telling you, he is. Especially if he's going against the 2s and 3s. And
He better have a good
against
game,
the
right?
ones.
Like, you're right. He better have a good game. He better have a better game. Classard 49 says, if center is really a problem, why not sign Treader? And this is what Mose was saying. Injury prone and maybe expensive, but easily our second best lineman behind Trent. I know why I think they don't sign Treader, but John, what are your thoughts?
This, people kept bringing up the whole Jimmy Garoppolo contract and Debo situation, and I kept saying they don't apply to each other. This is different because if you bring in Treader, who's north of 30, you're talking a 1, maybe 2-year deal. It's going to be $5 to $7 million cap hit. You don't have that right now with Jimmy on the books. That's so. I would say, 1, I don't think the 49ers want to. 2, if you did, the contract's going to be an issue. I don't think that they could do that now with Jimmy on the books, personally, unless you did a 2-year deal with a void year. And I think next year they like who they got at center with all these guys competing, whether that's Poe, whether that's Brunskill, whether that's, Brindle, whether that's Sakill. I think they have a lot of options that they think will pan out once they get coached up. That whole, the shirt I got on right here, I was drafted by the 49ers. All I got was this red shirt. He wants to develop those interior guys. And I think that's the plan long-term.
All right, Mose, you have thoughts on that too?
I agree with that. I wouldn't put it past Kyle though that he at least called. They called Treader to kind of feel him out, see where he is, and say, look, obviously we have this issue, with Jimmy Garoppolo on our books. We may not be able to do anything now, but once we get him out of here, August 30th, I think is the date that you put out there, Breezy. Once we get him out of here, end of August, early September. When we still have around, a week and a half, maybe we'll bring you in, then try to get you as up to speed as we can and throw you in there. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them that they put the feeler out and said it's a possibility once we move on from Jimmy. But it is possible that, we tried it with Weston Richburg. We tried it with Alex Mack. We got the older, more experienced guy. And it's panned out in one situation, not as much in the other. So it may be something where we just want to go with the long-term approach and develop a guy in-house and just, build him up to eventually be like one of those guys. So that makes a lot of sense too.
Boom. And the contribution is right on time from Gammon. He says, grab the fire extinguisher. Mose is spitting facts. Mose is spitting facts. Here's my only thing, or my only take. As much as I like, the 49ers to sign Shredder, my only thing is there are three teams currently in need of a center, dire need of a center. Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the greatest quarterback to play.
I thought they would be the first one to go get him.
They lost both of their centers too. They lost a starter and then the backup. And then the Saints, now they need a center. And I think there's another team out there that needs a center. And guess who they're not going after?
JC Shredder.
Is there something about him being head of the NFLPA that makes teams want to stay away?
Keep him away from my team. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want the lens on my team, especially if we do sneaky stuff. And
you get what I'm saying?
Tom Brady sneaky as they get, and Kyle Shanahan wants to be sneaky.
Kyle's sneaky. He's sneaky.
Yeah,
He's probably about second sneaky after Brady, because Brady's as sneaky as he can get, bro. I still can't figure out the ball thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying, but I just don't. Kyle Shanahan said this, and I want you guys to remember. He said that the answer to the center is right here in camp. We're not looking outside. I don't think they're going to do that for any lineman, unless there's a super injury. But I don't think, like John said, you got to start factoring in the money situation. And I don't think they can afford anybody at this moment. So they're going to have to go with what's on their team. And we're going to have to hope those guys that they have in there, the Jalen Moores, the guys that got some live snaps, some real NFL snaps, can step in via injury and just hold down the fort. And, sort of kind of what you call it did last year, who ended up leaving us. Did he go to Denver? Tom Compton. Everybody wanted him gone.
He's on PUP now, though. So, even him, he's never he's not even playing.
Wow.
He started on PUP, stayed on PUP. Now, I will say this, and, we were talking about Jimmy G a while ago. Mary Kay Cabot just said Deshaun Watson news coming out today. So, they're announcing it today.
And I think Peachy in the chat saying it's probably going to be 8 to 10 game suspension. So we can start the Jimmy Garoppolo. No, that's enough. That's enough. Let me ask you this: 8 to 10 game suspension. I'm not saying that's enough. What I mean by that, that's enough to get Jimmy Garoppolo as there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Double digits. Yeah. Yes. If it's 10 and above, then I'm with you.
I'm with you. Right. And I'm hoping for the 10, right? Because Jimmy, boom, trade easily. Right. So my thing is this: do you think they're still going to trade for Jimmy if it's the 10 game suspension, or do they wait till August 30th?
Nah, they're going to trade for him. They want him in there now.
He has to learn. He has to learn.
Yeah, he's got to get up to speed with the offense and
speak the facts, bro.
Yeah, he's got to get up to speed with the offense and figuring out, who his weapons are and building some type of chemistry, because 10 games, that's 2.5 months.
That's 2.5 months.
So
that's 2.5 months, Mose.
That's 2.5 months. That's more than half the season.
That's 2/3 of the season.
Yeah. So that's a long stretch that he would be in there holding down the fort until Deshaun Watson came back. So I think I don't think we'd be a stickler with we want a first round pick or something. I think we'd be amicable in getting a deal done to finally close this chapter, because I think at this point it is, yes, it's about recouping value, but I think more importantly, it's about closing the door on that chapter completely. It's good that he's still at the facility and, he's kind of being quiet on the side field, throwing, warming up, getting his body ready, still signing autographs for fans, all that good stuff. But I think more importantly, like I said, it's time to close that chapter for good, move on, let him go do his thing. So I think we're amicable. We find a way to get a trade done, and it's done before August 30th.
And on top of that, you close this door, you also close the Seattle door, because I don't want him starting for the Seattle Seahawks week 2 for the 49ers home opener. That not that I'm so scared of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not what it is at all. I want to see the Seattle Seahawks burn and die into the ground. And so throwing them a life preserver August 31st is not in my intentions. And I don't think Kyle's either.
And the narrative that game is going to bring, Jimmy Garoppolo starting for the Seahawks back in Santa Clara, the media headlines for that game alone are going to bring more attention that I think Kyle wants right now for his team and for Trey Lance. And if Trey struggles that game? It's one of those days, right? Not because of the Jimmy factor or what's going on in the news. Just say he struggles because it's an off day.
Yeah.
Well, then that's going to feed the flames of those rumors that should you have kept Jimmy Garoppolo? Now, you let Jimmy Garoppolo go to the Seattle Seahawks, and now you lose week 2 and your home opener to the guy who you just let go. It's going to be too much. So I love that Chapman said that, because that absolutely, I think, with just the narrative that the media tries to spin and paint, not having him in Seattle and having to deal with that week 2 in that early in the season, I think is better for everybody.
Yep.
In 49ers
they have
country.
the cap. I think it's not going to take much. 49ers keep some of it. It's a win-win-win. Jimmy, it's a perfect place for him. If they had Jimmy last year, Browns would have been in the playoffs
easily.
So I mean, easily. So this guarantees you have a good record. The AFC West is winnable. I know the Bengals and what they did last year was incredible.
I know.
But like, there's a strong chance they don't make the playoffs this year.
Bro, you're speaking facts.
Yeah.
The AFC West is different. I mean, the AFC and in general, but the West is probably going to dominate. But the AFC is. I was talking about.
Sorry, I think I said the wrong division.
Yeah,
my bad.
They're the North, I think. And so, this is weird because you'd be like, Cincinnati's on the East Coast, but they but they got But the AFC is gonna be fun to watch. I think the AFC is gonna be fun to watch. That's me personally. I'm probably gonna be tuning into a lot of CBS games this year because I want to see some of these AFC teams play. And I got my eyes. A lot of people are sleeping on the Ravens. I got my eyes set that the Ravens are going to push to contend in the AFC. They built Mose and I were speaking about this. They built their defense back, and now they got their running back back. J.K. Dobbins is going to be back. They got good depth at the running back position. Their offensive line is solid, and and Lamar Jackson looks happy. I'm just going to leave until he gets paid. So I think it's going to be fine for them guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Ravens 49ers Super Bowl, because I really do believe the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. I do. With Trey Lance, first season as starting quarterback, I really do. I just love the way that this team is set up and is built, to be contending each and every year. And I really think they have a really good chance. All right, let's do some updates with camp. Camp right now, some things are going down. Diamadora, according to Steph Sanchez. All right. Diamadora actually won a rep. We were talking about him getting toasted, and guess what? He ended up winning a rep, jarring out a ball from the gritty man himself, Justin Jefferson. Here's the best part of her post, though. Him and Ambry Thomas have come out aggressive, getting their hands in at the catch point. That's the Ambry that I know. That's the Ambry that I like. And that's the Ambry not beating himself up in his head because he's out there thinking too much. That's why he's struggling. He's not struggling because he lost a step or he doesn't have the skill set. He's struggling because he's out there learning and he's trying to apply everything that he's learning at the same damn time, just instead of just playing football and letting everything come to him naturally. What are your thoughts about that, about Ambry Thomas?
He's a slow starter. Had a bad camp last year, not a good camp this year, but we know what he can do. 49ers don't make the playoffs last year without an interception, and he had some good games against some elite talent. He belongs. He just got to get a little bit more consistency early. In my opinion, Diamador Lenore would be cornerback 3 right now. Ward, Mosley, then I've got Demo out there. I got Ambry Thomas 4. But long-term, Ambry Thomas, I would flip those two. The good news is the 49ers have 4 good outside corners that I'm comfortable with. Just need consistency with those sophomore guys. Those sophomore. Right. Just need consistency.
John, you ready for the breaking news? Mose, you ready for the breaking news?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to confirm it as well, but yeah,
I believe he's being suspended for 11 games.
Oh, is it happening? Is it happening right now?
It's going down. All right. I'm just getting the confirmation right now as we speak, like Mose. I'm told by
Yeah,
Josina
11 games,
Anderson.
Josina Anderson.
5
He
million.
says that quarterback Deshaun Watson will be suspended 11 games and fined $5
$5 million.
million. All right, there it is. Breaking news right here on the WayneBreezie Show. He's not even a 49er, but you have no idea how happy the Breezy is right now, because if Jimmy Garoppolo is not a 49er, not a Cleveland Brown tonight, then nobody wants him. I'm clear. I'm going to live on that, walk on that ledge that nobody wants him. Jimmy Garoppolo should be a Brown by the end of the night.
Yes, this is great news. I said double digits. 11 is double digits.
Yep.
I think I really do think it's going to happen, man. I think that it just makes too much sense for everybody. And man, this is one. All right, throwing aside all the people that Deshaun Watson hurt and stuff. I don't want to remiss that, like all the predatory whatever.
Right. Right.
But like,
sorry,
man, F the Browns organization. They are some freaking literal dogs. And hopefully we can move past this. It's crazy, but man, yeah, for the 49ers, this is great news. This is great news because this is great.
I
news.
want to look at their schedule too.
Go bring it up, bro.
So Cleveland.
Why we here? All I know is you say so Cleveland.
Oh, you cut out. I think you cut out, Mose.
Or did he just freeze?
No, he's not frozen on mine.
No, he's not frozen on my end either. Oh, your voice went out. All right. So while he's fixing his voice, sort of, it's like you're on a cell phone looking for a reception.
It muted my mic and it made my mic my AirPods. Hold on 1 second.
Yep. I can tell you're on your AirPods.
So yeah, look at the schedule. Okay, here's their 11. Here's their games. Okay, so they got Panthers, Jets, Steelers. Those first 3. Falcons, Chargers, Patriots. That's 6. Ravens, Bengals. That's 8. Dolphins, Bills, Bucks. That's 11. Guess? Oh man, they do this all the time. Guess who their 12th game's against?
Who?
The freaking Houston Texans. They always do this. They always do this. They always do this.
So he'll be back right to play Houston. And yep. There it is. Mose, you
and
back?
It's at Houston. So massage therapists beware.
There it is. There's that contribution right there. Watson first.
Still can't hear me?
We got you clear now, brother.
Okay,
Watson,
okay, good.
First game back against the Texans.
Yeah, that's crazy. But because that's what I wanted to point. So Carolina and the Jets and Pitts. Listen, with Jimmy Garoppolo, they can still win their first 4 games.
Bro.
They can start with Jimmy Garoppolo. They can start 4-0, and then they have tough sledding after that with the Chargers, New England, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. But of those 4 games, that second stretch of 4 in October, only one of those is away. So if you can come out of that stretch trying to find a way to win 2 games, which I think Cincinnati and possibly New England could be the most winnable of those 2 games, by your bye week, you're 6-2. This has to be. I know we don't care.
I know.
But to me, this has to be
it's
what Cleveland's front office is thinking about.
Right.
If we get Jimmy Garoppolo, get him in the fold, we know our defense is solid. We know Myles Garrett is coming. We know Denzel Ward is going to, lock down his side. We got pieces all over this defense. We got a solid running game. We got a decent tight end in David Njoku. We got speed. We got Amari Cooper. We have all the pieces. We could be 6-2 at the bye. Then we have Miami, Buffalo, and Tampa. Just win the Miami game. You may lose to Buffalo. You may lose to Tampa. That's 7-4. And then Watson comes back at the Houston game. And it's at Houston too. I think that's why they did 11 instead of 12. That's hilarious. This only adds to me the NFL rigged rumor. Like, this only adds more fire to the NFL being rigged. They want to find the best way that they can to make as much money out of this situation.
because that's a money game right there, right? He's going home, back home to play against his former team, that traded him. And this is a way for the NFL to milk, you know what I'm saying? And sorry.
I'll say this. Boom, boom. I love it. And Peachy's always right, everybody. Like, understand that Peachy is right, all the time.
Can't get no writer. Yeah.
I love it. Now, they also have part of the deal is he has to go to mandatory therapy.
Okay.
Which I think is important because he's never admitted any wrongdoing or whatever. But yeah, man, you need some help, bro.
It'll be good for him, right? He gets a paid.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
I'm just saying he gets paid time off, but he's getting paid like a paid leave. A leave after, I don't know what you call it when you work. You still get paid when you get suspended, right? He's still gonna get money, and so take this time, reflect, get yourself checked in somewhere. Get yourself right, because I'm gonna keep it a buck. He looked like shit in that preseason game.
He looked awful the whole
like
training
he looked
camp.
worse than the color of the Browns uniform. I'm sorry, but he did. He was terrible.
Yeah, and that's all of that rust from not playing last year. I don't care how many throwing sessions you do at a college field or a local high school field with some receivers or some guys that it doesn't simulate NFL football. So he still has to get back into the swing of things. And I think for Cleveland, getting a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo right now is the best decision so that this season does not go to waste.
Yeah, man, it's crazy out there, man. Like John said, it's unfortunate that these events they happened. And I know we're talking about it, but we're more in the, I'm glad he's being suspended. It's due diligence to, whatever it was he committed, and the NFL is taking action. So kudos to the NFL, but kudos to the 49ers about to be able to relieve some pressure, relieve some money. And I think everybody's going to be just a little bit happier here over in the Bay. We'll get to Sean's contribution, but guys, we were talking about no fighting at camp, and guess what happened today?
Dre Greenlaw happened.
Dre Greenlaw happened.
No, not Dre Greenlaw.
Listen, man, I don't know why people mess with Dre Greenlaw, bro. The kid is a fighter. He looked like a fighter. He looked like a boxer.
Like if he wasn't in football, he'd be a boxer.
Or MMA. One of the two. Yeah.
I mess with him.
And when you're body slamming players in NFL games and getting penalties, that's bad. Like that's how you might not want to mess with this cat. So I can't wait. I don't know if they got video of it. If so, we'll definitely be able to check that out. But yeah, Greenlaw's out there, man. And they didn't stop practice though, so that's a good thing. It got broken up really quickly.
It was him and Dalvin Cook, which I'd pay to watch.
Yeah, yeah,
it'd be a good fight.
That's prime time.
But Greenlaw would eat his lunch, but that's okay.
I think Dalvin Cook might have some hands, but I don't think he want to mess. I don't think he want to mess with the ball.
He don't want that Greenlaw different.
He don't want that smoke. All right, Sean says, contribution, do you think Colton's T-Rex arms are part of the problem of him and his pass protection?
I think that's why a lot of people say that McKivitz is better at guard. I think his athleticism is allowing him to play tackle, but I think his reach is one of his deficiencies when he's on the outside. So I think that's why a lot of people see him better, more suited for the inside at guard than at tackle. But
yeah, I agree. And that's kind of the 49ers MO. We draft these undersized tackles, transition them to guards, but you constantly have injuries. And again, Jalen Moore, Colton McKivitz. Oh, we see him as a guard. We see him playing inside. Nick Zakill, Spencer Burford, all tackles. Oh, we're going to move them inside. And then it's like, oh, not so fast. But Colton McKivitz, they drafted with the idea of staying at tackle. He's never caught on.
All right. I always thought he was a guard coming out of college. I thought that's what he was labeled as. I thought they drafted him as guard.
Well, you remember that was right after Joe Staley retired, before they got the Trent Williams deal done.
Right.
And in the draft press conference, John Lynch said, if we didn't get the Trent deal done, we were going to draft Colton McKivitz with the 4th round pick, and he was going to be our left tackle.
Wow.
Like that. Yikes.
There it is.
That would have been a whole different.
I don't know if we read this contribution, but Gaiman was like, we could just put Kittle at right tackle. I don't want Kittle at right tackle. but I'm sure he can probably hold it down.
I will say this. If McGlinchey's out week 1, you're going to see a tight end on the right side, or you're going to see Kyle Juszczyk going to the right side out of the backfield the entire time.
Yep.
Whole game.
A lot of 2 tight end sets if McGlinchey's out.
So speaking of tackles, guys, did you guys get a chance to watch Brick by Brick?
Yes.
I missed it. So far.
All right. So one of the features in this particular episode was our left tackle, the All-Pro, the Mr. 99 himself, Trent Williams. I have a little clip, and I'm glad that John didn't see it because John's going to be wooed by this clip. And we're going to talk about this clip because on a previous episode, I said that Trent Williams was going to score a touchdown. I put $5 on it. I don't care how he does it. I just know he's getting in the end zone. All right. So let's check out this clip real quick by Brick.
A leader and anchor of the offensive line. This is the start of his 3rd year with the 49ers.
This for y'all over there looking. Damn. Don't look at that. Yeah.
Would you say that was about a good 30, 40-yard bomb?
Athlete's gonna athlete.
Garoppolo range.
Listen, it looked smooth. It looked like it.
Did you see the spiral?
Yeah, it had spiral, nice pop. It was easy.
And I'll say this: that's an old lineman shoulder pads, which are completely different than quarterback shoulder pads because that wraps your whole freaking shoulder down. You can't do this, and so that was just whew. Yeah, he's an athlete, man. He's different.
How realistically can we change the game? Yo, hold on, John. Don't even laugh yet. You know what, John? Just complete my sentence, bro. How realistically can we see?
You want a tackle reverse pass? I know what you want.
I mean, I know we did this in Tecmo Bowl somewhat.
You can do it. You can do it. It's legal.
Teach us.
Okay, so he wears jersey 71 ineligible. So 1, he would have to report as eligible and then line up as eligible. You could do a tackle over where you would basically have to have a tight end on the line of scrimmage and then an off slot or whatever to the right side, and you would have to have an uncovered left side wide receiver off the line of scrimmage. That would make him look in his traditional left tackle spot, but he would have to report as eligible first. That's the rough part.
Okay.
But then he could get the ball and theoretically throw a pass. It is possible, but he's got to report as eligible first. Or you could do that whole shift thing where he was in the backfield. It's possible. It's possible.
Would you put it past Mo's Kyle Shanahan?
Hell no. Hell no. Wouldn't put it past him at all. And I love what Chapman is saying because once he reports his eligible, he can line up anywhere. I think you do motion him to like a running back position. So maybe we do, we do an offset situation where we have Debo, lined up in the backfield, or even Elijah Mitchell. You run like some kind of like toss to Trent Williams, and he's running and like almost sort of what Debo did last year. He run the toss, run like he's gonna run, and everybody's converging on big Trent Williams because he's a bowling ball trying to get into the end zone, and then he just stands up and tosses a floater over everybody to George Kittle or
no,
or Charlie Warner, somebody completely
It'd
unexpected.
be Trey Lance. Damn, John, how did you know this? Like, what is John?
So you want the Trent Williams to Trey Lance touchdown pass? And
we could call it the TNT, baby.
Oh God.
Yo, you heard it right here.
Yo, if it happens, Breezie is never gonna let us live this down. He's gonna clip this. He's gonna clip this and say, "I called it. I coined the name of it." And now, then we're gonna have to get shirts made.
Oh,
we're gonna have to get nitty-gritty TNT shirts made with the play art, with their jersey numbers. Yo, that'll be, if it happens, that'll be crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, we got one more thing we want to talk about on the show, and we can get up out of here. We got to talk about, in my opinion, the best defensive player in the league. And I think the best defensive player in the league plays for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I know he didn't get any votes for comeback player of the year when he came back from that gruesome injury. I know he didn't get any votes for defensive player of the year last year with 15 and a half sacks. I got a chance to listen to his father speak, Mr. John Bosa. He was on 95.7 The Game. And they asked him a couple of questions about his son. They asked him about his accolades, and then they asked him about him being held. Now, if you guys didn't see, if you look at the thumbnail, yesterday, Nick Bosa was held in practice. And I guess you don't want this guy getting to your quarterback. And I'm hearing today he's already sacked the quarterback twice, right? And so, yeah, Nick is different.
Yeah.
Like, he's a different specimen. I don't even think he was birthed from the Bosa parents. They made him in a tube and they added some. He's like a LeBron James of football. Like, he's different. Like, they're made, right? These clips that I listened to were so intriguing because I got to get a really good insight on his father. And I didn't pay attention to him when he played, but when listening to him, you can kind of hear where he's going with this. Listen to what he said about Nick Bosa and how he thinks about himself, being on this team.
Toward the end of the season, he was kind of petering out of the defensive player of the year conversation. Obviously, it was between TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Does that sort of thing fuel him in the offseason, those types of individual accolades? Does he talk to you about that defensive player of the year award? Or is it just, you know what, I'm just striving to be the best edge rusher in the NFL, regardless of an award or not?
Well, I think he's striving to be the best, and those accolades obviously are nice, and I think they would be appreciated. But I think he's been disrespected quite a bit in his young career, and I think that continued. I think not getting one vote for comeback player of the year was an absolute joke, and I'm taking nothing away from his very good friend Joe Burrow. But I think that was an absolute travesty that he didn't get one vote when the kind of year he had coming back. So those things may probably annoy me more than they annoy him because he's, like I said, he's single-minded, and it's all about the Niners. He just, we love that group. We love the coaches and John Lynch and the ownership, and it's just a wonderful place, and that's what it's all about. It's the 49ers and Nick being the best version of himself and striving to continue to improve.
Let's talk about it, man, because Nick's come out 3 seasons. One, he was hurt, and he's come out and he said, look, I'm just going to continue to strive to get better. Let's talk about Nick Bosa.
He's the best in the game. Most complete edge player. A lot of people, if you want that defensive player of the year award, you got to get sacks. That's what it's about. But you look at tackle for losses, led the NFL. One of the best, I'd say him and Cam Jordan are probably the 2 best complete defensive ends when it comes to against the run and against the pass. There's no weaknesses in his game.
I forgot about Big Cam.
And so he's young. He's going to get paid $40 million a year.
Damn!
And he deserves it all.
$40 million. Maybe he can give us, sponsorship or something like that. Not a game 408 since Bosa was made in the same factory as Captain America. Yeah. Mose, man, thoughts on John talking about his son? And the cool thing was he said, it probably pisses me off more than it does him, but he's all about the team.
Yeah, I can relate to that because, as my son recently did a 2-week basketball camp. And I stayed and watched some of it, but I just know the work that my son put in. I thought he should have been one of the kids that got camp MVP for everything that he was doing from a team perspective. In the individual drills, he was good, but how he was leading his team, how he was supporting his teammates, how he was, cheering them on the sideline when he wasn't in the game. I thought that, my son should have gotten some recognition as far as that. And I think every father is gonna feel that way when you see your son doing what they love to do, but also doing it the right way, putting in maximum effort, making sure that, they're, working on perfecting their craft and being a good human being doing it. You want to see them get recognized. So I completely agree with that sentiment. He definitely should have got at least one vote for comeback player of the year. So to tear your ACL, even though it wasn't the same leg, for the second time, and to be able to come back in that fashion and have 15 and a half sacks the way that he did, like John said, leading the league in tackles for loss. One vote? I can't get one vote. So yeah, that is disrespectful. And I love Nick's outlook on it. You know, it would be appreciated, but I'm worried about being the best Nick Bosa to help the 49ers achieve their ultimate goal, because that helps me. I get to say I'm a Super Bowl champion by being the best version of myself and helping my team. And John, when you talk about him being a complete, defensive end, both in run and pass, also too, we've seen him cover running backs. We don't want to see him do a lot of that, but in situations where he's had to cover running backs and just in the flat, he's so athletic. He's able to get there and either stop the running back, force the quarterback to throw somewhere else, bat the ball down. We saw it against the Vikings. We saw it against the Saints. He's able to do everything on the field. So I'm just excited to see another year of Nick Bosa and him being 100%, him working on his craft, him getting in the lab with Trent Williams and finding new things to add to his tool belt from a pass rusher and a defensive end standpoint is going to be an amazing sight to see this year.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not just he's just getting in there with Trent, like he's getting in there with the best of the best, right? Like, so like, how dope is it to be on the team? I think that was part of Kyle Shanahan's plan too, yo. We got this young kid, and you heard Kyle say, listen, Bosa has been a professional since the age of 3, right? Like that's how he felt. Like, because they asked Bosa, they asked Kyle Shanahan, it was like, dude, has there ever been another player that you have, seen come in here and be like how Bryant Young came in and just dominated from day one? And he was like, the only other player I could think about is Nick Bosa. Dude's been professional since like the age of 3. Like, the dude comes in here, works, man. He can take off practice and go out there and dominate like he was at practice. And so he's a special player. Got to keep him healthy. Got to keep him good. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about this because a lot of people want to know. I saw Peachy ask the question, can he break the sack record? And I don't think he can. And I know people say, what? Hear me out. There's a conspiracy to this. I think the NFL gets involved. And so if you know where I'm going with this, here goes Archon's Jedi's, comment. He literally gets held every play. And so they don't even call it. So it's one thing for him. Even if they did call it, he wouldn't get the sack. You know what I'm saying? So unless he gets the sack and he still gets the holding call, they can decline it and take the sack. But even if he did get around, he's getting held there and they call it. He won't get the credit for the sack. So I think the NFL has something on the 49ers. I don't think they want these guys breaking records. I don't think they want these guys winning Super Bowls. It's something weird about the NFL juju when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. And I don't know what it is. And I promise you I'll find out a way to break that down on another show. But I want him to break the record. And his father spoke about his son being held. This is the last clip we'll play. And then we'll do final thoughts and get up out of here and see if there are any updates from camp. Let's listen to this real quick.
100%. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am, first of all, on a great day, I'm not fun to be around on game day. When that kind of stuff goes on game after game and the disrespect that they show him, the refs, both Joey, but especially Nick around the collar. And I mean, it's just a joke and it's frustrating. But I think he does a great job of moving on and not letting it get to him when those plays happen. But I'm losing my mind. Absolutely. And that's why I'm really usually, very much alone in my space watching football games because no one wants to be around me.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm the same type of dad. Like, I'm that same guy. Like, if I feel like, have any of you, John, you're a coach, so you can't answer this question. Most, have you ever argued with the referee from the stands?
I can't answer the question either because I coach my son's flag football team. And
never mind.
I'm at the referee's
I'll tell you
neck
what, my ass be right
play.
there on the fence telling the refs that they can all eat because they just miss stuff. Like, I don't get it. And so I don't understand how they're missing these holds, John and Mose. Maybe you have a little bit more enlightenment
I'll
on this.
I'll say this. The thing that makes Nick Bosa so special is that he's a technician with his hands and he wins close. Okay. Whereas, D Ford or even Myles Garrett, they win by beating around the edge, right? The speed and the bend that they use. Yeah. NorCal, he's been kicked out of games, but Nick wins up close. And so a lot of those, hand fightings and whatever, it's in close. And so it is harder to see, but it's ridiculous. The NFL officials should know Nick Bosa's playing. We got to pay closer attention to this. And I'll say this, back to your conspiracy theory. I do believe, kind of in the David Stearns approach to sports marketing, that when you got those young faces, those young stars, the Jordan effect, whatever, things go your way. We saw that with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl versus us. Can Trey be that guy? Once Nick Bosa gets paid, Nick Bosa will be that guy and get more calls. It's just, you got to have that face. I don't think it's that they hate San Francisco. I think it's that, hey, Patrick Mahomes plays well. If Justin Herbert plays well, we all make more money. Can Trey Lance be one of those guys?
I love it.
Good point, man.
I love it. I would agree with that 100%. I'm with Breezy, and again, we're all human. We say this all the time. We all make mistakes, but I feel like referees, especially in the NFL, who get paid to do what they do, should be a little bit more proficient at making the calls that are egregious, right? And we can talk about a number of them. A lot of people, especially the faithful, want to go back to the Super Bowl and the miss holding on both. That there were several of them, but I just feel like if that's a job that you sign up for, that you're getting paid to do, yes, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to have a perfect game every game, but I feel like you should be a little bit more proficient. Whether a player has a face or not, we know that there's going to be the superstars who get preferential treatment. We get that. But I think everybody else should still get a higher level of proficiency from the referees, because this is what they get paid to do. And they have trainings, they watch film, they know what to look for when they see it. I mean, there's not just one or two referees. There's a back judge, there's the line judge, there's the field judge, there's this, there's that. There's all of this stuff, and now you got cameras that is recording all of it, and you can go watch the film again. So I think I do wish that we see a higher level of proficiency from the referees. I think if we do start to see that, and once Nick does start to get those calls coming his way, he starts to get the calls coming his way, the teams aren't holding as much. I honestly think we probably won't see it. There's probably a low probability, but I think if there's a guy who could hit 25, not just break the record, but could hit that 25 mark, I think it could be Nick Bosa.
Absolutely.
He's that good.
Absolutely. And I think he can. I don't think they're going to allow it. All right. Hey, hear me out. Last year, 15 and a half, quick. Hey, quickest pace to get to 15 and a half. You're like, oh, he's breaking the record this year. And then hold. No call. One call, no call. Like, it was just like they slowed that process down. Then in the playoffs,
other teams watch that tape when they're preparing for the 49ers. They're like, hey, coach, they're not calling this. Like, we can just do that, right?
Just do that.
The teams are like, yeah, until they start calling it.
Like, I mean, they didn't even call it in practice. The thing is, they're getting around his neck. How is that not a hold? Is it because it's not with the hand and it's with the forearm? I'm confused.
Yeah, but you still can't go across somebody's chest and neck this way. Like, you can't arm bar somebody on an NFL football field. Like, you can't do that. And the crazy part, and here's where I will agree with you. In the last game of the season, where TJ Watt tied the sack record, he actually should have broken it and set a new record. But there was another call.
Ooh, you're
the
right,
referees missed.
You're right.
And if he would have got that call and they would have been able to push him back and then they had to run another play, I think he would have broken the record. I think they're like, we want somebody to tie it just so that we can say it's attainable, but we don't want anybody to set a new record and to break it. Because TJ Watt should have broke it, because he had multiple opportunities after he tied it to get another even half sack to completely break it and set a new record. I think you're right. I think it's in some ways the NFL is curating what's happening, and to me that's the worst part of the NFL. And again, this is all speculation. There's no real proof behind what we're saying, but you can kind of tell that some things are being hand curated, by people who have a lot more authority than us.
Or Michael Strahan makes a ton of money and it was like, hey, NFL, man, let this shit go one more season, yo. Like, here you go. Here's a good sizable donation.
What y'all need in a donation? Let me give you some of this Good Morning America money real quick.
It's coming down. It's coming down though.
I love you. I love it, John. You're 100% correct, man. We got a couple of contributions. 49ers Ultimate Report, another 49ers content creator, a great one at that. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Thank you for the contribution. Shout out Wayne, John, and Mose. We appreciate that. And the DeLonda Show, Watson just got 11 games. We're going to end on this. So do they want Jimmy or no? We talked about it a little bit earlier. Let's finalize that, right? Do they want Jimmy or no? Because I still don't think teams want him. Do they want him or no?
I'd say 65% they want him. That's what I would put at a trade.
Like
so
John.
better than 50-50. They already said that if it got extended past 6, they would entertain the idea of trading for Jimmy. It just makes too much sense to me. You can't roll Brissett for 11 games. Who's their third string quarterback? You can't do that. You can't do that. They're playoff aspirations, man.
All right, Mose.
As I'm sitting here thinking about it, the only thing that I think the Browns could do, because the Browns are used to flubbing stuff up. If they don't trade for Jimmy, I could see them, and I don't know why they would do this, but for shits and giggles, I could see them calling Carolina and saying, hey, you looking to move off of Sam Darnold?
Hell no.
Just to piss Baker off.
I respect that.
Just to piss Baker off.
I respect that.
Call Carolina because they want to move off of Sam Darnold. We'll take Sam Darnold for 11 games. Have him for a year. Get rid of him after this year. Deshaun Watson comes back week 13 against Houston. We'll take the cheaper Sam Darnold. Give us him for 11 games just to piss Baker off.
Is he cheaper though? He's $20 million guaranteed this year.
I don't think that they have the most cap space in the NFL. I don't think that's the biggest concern.
Okay. I only asked that because I felt like if they did the trade for Jimmy, they would renegotiate a 1-year deal with him.
I think they would do the same with Sam too. Because
Okay.
Sam knows
I
that
thought
he
Sam
can't play
had
on
to
that
get his
contract.
$20 million because of that option. So doesn't he automatically get that money? They can't renegotiate the 5th-year option, right?
No, it's guaranteed from injury only, but yeah, they can't move on from him.
So I don't know, but that would be so hilarious because, like Mo said, it would piss off Baker. But Baker looked pretty good in his preseason.
Don't fall for it.
I'm not falling for it because we're gonna wax that tail when we go down near to Carolina. I know that.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Panthers. Get ready for it. Don't be trying to fight nobody from the Niners because they will knock you the F out. All right, guys.
And Nick Bosa can't wait to see, just to tie it all together. Nick Bosa can't wait to see Baker again.
That's right.
Yo, that was one of the greatest sack celebrations of all time. That's definitely one of the greatest. Listen, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the WayneBreezie Show. We will not be here tomorrow. I'll be performing for some youth out here in the state of Connecticut. I got to do a show, an early show. But I do look to plan to jump on sometime Saturday and do a quick preview to the matchup between the Minnesota Vikings. The preseason games this Saturday, Saturday evening in Minnesota. And so I do look to preview to do that. I'll probably try to see if I could do a nice little round table for that and just have a bunch of dope content creators on there and just promoting their brands and talking their game, man. So we'll see if we can make that happen. If you guys want that to happen, man, tweet it out there. And here's Peachy. She's on her Sean stuff right now. I love it. But
you gotta read it in her voice too.
Damn. All right, here we go, John. We have a little thing over here where I gotta get in the peachy voice, but I'm not in the peachy voice mood. But anyway, I'm tired of all the despicable hate against our young quarterback. It's disrespectful.
Oh my gosh.
Daniel Kelly needs to find a better hobby and leave these 49er platforms once he's finally gone.
You just block him, and then you don't have to deal with him anymore. That's what you do with.
And he's asking for an invite to the show.
God no. God,
What?
no.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in here? Nah, man.
He's in here.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Only like listen, Daniel. You will be so disrespected, bro, and I couldn't defend anything. I just have to fall back.
The chat gonna go. It won't even be us. The chat is gonna go.
So
you think he'll be wearing his Aaron Hernandez jersey? Is that what he's gonna wear?
Oh no! Oh no! PG, thank you for the contribution and happy early birthday to Peachy Brown. Her birthday on this Sunday. All right, so make sure you guys send her lots of love, lots of birthday wishes, and all that type of stuff. Start now if you didn't already start, man. She deserves it. All right, John, thank you for jumping on. Let everybody know where they can find you because you're the king of the airwaves, bro.
Dude, John Chapman or 49ers Rush, anywhere you want to look for stuff. And if you're going to any games this year, any away games whatsoever, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We're throwing parties everywhere. Every single road game we're throwing a night before party, a rally, and then we're also doing a huge tailgate. So that's what we got, man. Just appreciate you guys having me on. Mose, one of your biggest fans, man. Love what you bring. Always reasonable takes. Always know what the hell you're talking about. So, man, just glad to be here, guys. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome, John. Mose, I'm going to let you close out. You're going to tell everybody where they can find you because you got your own stuff going on. Mose knows and the NFL is about to be popping. So y'all better get ready for all these NFL takes because Mose got it. We got one more contribution from our cousin Gammon. All right. So Mose, you got this. I'm going to sip my water and then you take us home, bro.
Gammon Brown, thank you for the contribution. He says, Daniel Kelly got fired from his scouting job. He failed to do his job by editing tape of all things. How can you be a scout and not edit tape? Yikes. With that said, love and appreciate everybody for tuning in. Great to have everybody here. John Chapman, again, love you, appreciate you. Thank you for all the love and support that you show me, that you show Breezy, and the content that you're providing 49ers Rush Road Trip. Listen, can't wait to hang out and party with you in Chicago. Week 1, I'm going to be in Atlanta, so I will catch you down there too. We're going to have an amazing time. Shout out to my brother Breezie, WayneBreezie. If I haven't told you before, I'm going to tell you right now, you are the GOAT, and I appreciate you, not only for what you do for the WayneBreezie Network, not only for what you do for Nitty Gritty Niners, not only for what you have poured into me as a brother and as a content creator, but for coming through in the clutch for your boy.
Yo, Madden is on.
Coming through in the clutch for your boy. Coming through in the clutch for your boy.
Bro,
the PlayStation is hooked up, already on Madden, already on the Ultimate Team. So the league is going to be on fire.
It's going to be
I'm ready to go. What a great show. Love y'all. Breezy, take us home.
Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys. Peace.